We are live.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the MMA fighting team this morning at the UFC Orlando official weigh-ins. This is the voice of Alexander K. Lee, your pal. But I am not in Orlando. I'm not on site at the weigh-ins. But our own Jose Youngs is. Wave to the audience, Jose, who can't see you.
Hello, you can see my
Oh,
hand.
they can see you. I'm sorry. They can see you. They won't be able to see me. It will just be my voice this morning and Jose's quality video.
Casey, I believe, has jury duty, so he is, doing his citizen good deed. So he is no longer. He's not doing the bells and whistles tonight.
Wow, I like
Today,
your story.
I should say.
Casey has jury. I thought. Did they know he's an MMA fighter? Because I would not put him on a jury.
That's why they put him on the jury.
Oh, that's. Wow. I would not allow him nor Oscar Willis, who I believe is also in Orlando.
He's sitting right next to me,
right next to you. Also an accomplished MMA fighter, undefeated, I should say, an undefeated MMA fighter, sitting right next to Jose Youngs. I don't want to.
Also not an undefeated MMA fighter.
Who's not undefeated?
I'm not. I'm 1-1.
Oh, you okay? Oh, you are 1-1. All right. Well, Jose, where's the video of? Do we have video of your fights?
Maybe, but that's neither here nor there, and we don't ever have to bring them up again because it's embarrassing.
Well, one of them's a win. I mean, what's the thing about
that one? Anyway, definitely. There's definitely no footage of the win. I've looked. There's definitely footage of me getting melted.
Well, I'm sure if we're hunting for it, and we'll put the link in the YouTube chat any second now. I don't want to make promises that we can't keep, but we may be joined by my best friend Mike Heck later. Fingers crossed. South Carolina Mike. One can dream. But we do have Jose again on site bringing the footage. We will have the weigh-ins.
We are kicking off.
There's the voice of John Anik.
No fewer than 30 athletes set to weigh in this morning, and we will begin with the gentleman round. This fight card was Bill first fighter to the scale. Taking part in this welterweight main event, Kevin Trailblazer Holland.
Oh, coming
Kevin Holland. We have first.
The official weight for Kevin Holland.
170.5 for Trailblazer Kevin Holland. That's 1/2 official for Saturday's welterweight main event. Let's see if Wonder Boy, not too shortly after. Let's see.
He's there.
There he is.
Contender, former two-time world title challenger Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
Such a professional.
The official weight for Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, your UFC fight night.
170 on the dot for Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, championship weight. That fight is now official. Dun, 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 dun.
All right, next adds into the scale, competing in a group of the UFC's featherweight division, Marcelo Rowe.
That was the music that normally would play if Casey was doing on the ones and twos. In case you guys didn't get that, that was this fight's official music. Marcelo Rojo coming up.
Official weight 145 for Marcelo Rojo.
145 for Marcelo Rojo. He'll be facing newcomer Francis Marshall.
All right, next to the scale, competing in a prison in the UFC strawweight division is Stella Nunez.
Estela Nunez up next. $114.5 for Estela Nunes. She'll be fighting Yasmin Yorigi.
All right, next athlete to the scale, the 15th ranked UFC women's flyweight contender, Amanda Ribas.
Comes Amanda Ribas, as John and I pointed out, ranked at strawweight, but once again fighting at 125 pounds, facing Tracy Cortez, unbeaten in the UFC so far. Amanda told her on Guilherme Cruz that she plans to stay at both weight classes. She wants to contend in both. So.
Weight 125 flyweight contender Amanda Ribas.
There you go, 125 for Amanda Ribas, championship weight.
All right, next athlete to weigh in, competing in the co-main event, the UFC's welterweight division, Bryan
Bryan
Barberena.
Barberena, co-headliner coming up. $170.5 for Bryan Barberena. It's one half of your co-main event. He'll be facing Rafael dos Anjos, his second straight opponent, who's a former UFC champion.
Scale back for the first time in a long time. Chosen to get on the scale and one half the featured group in the UFC's welterweight division, Niko, the hybrid Price.
Niko Price coming up. Oh, he's quick to the scale.
The official weight for the Niko Price.
170 on the dot for Niko Price. He awaits his opponent, Phil Rowe.
All right, next fighter to the scale competing in the strawweight prelim opener, Jasmine Howard.
And here's Jasmine Howard. Here we go. Her opponent already weighed in.
Is the weight for Jasmine Howard.
115.5 for Jasmine Howard. Her fight with Estela Nunes is now official. I'm just trying new sounds for her.
You can't hear it, but I actually did play the sound.
Oh, you did play? Okay, excellent. I will not. Michael Johnson coming to the scale again for the, how many times is it? His 27th UFC fight.
$156, the official weight for Michael Johnson.
156 for Michael Johnson again, successfully within.
I don't know if you could hear him, but he walks in immediately and goes, I need the towel. He goes, I miss Christmas for this. Give me those points, too.
A man. Oh, here comes Clay Guida.
Clean cut.
He dwarfs Michael Johnson. I mean, Michael Johnson, 27 appearances. This is number 34 UFC appearance 34 for Clay Guida. $154.5 for Clay Guida.
All right, next fighter to the scale, oncoming course of the UFC's featherweight division, Jonathan JSP Pearce.
A lot of the prelim guys coming up. Sorry, we got Jonathan Pearce coming up. He's going to fight another veteran, Darren Elkins. Man, how many combined fights do we have in this card? It's crazy.
146 for JSP, Jonathan Pearce.
146 for Jonathan Pearce.
All right, next fighter to the scale, competing in the prelim of the UFC's featherweight division, Francis Marshall.
Here comes the newcomer, Francis Marshall. $145 for Francis Marshall on the dot.
To the stage, charged with kicking off the main card live on ESPN of the middleweight division, Kyle Daukaus.
Oh my gosh.
Francis Marshall versus Marcelo Rojo is official. Here comes Kyle Daukaus. $184.5 for Kyle Daukaus.
All right, next fighter to the scale, UFC strawweight veteran making her 22nd UFC appearance here in Orlando, the 12th ranked contender, Angela Overkill Hill.
Here comes fan favorite Angela Hill. That's 115.5 for Angela Overkill Hill.
All right, next fighter to the stage, weighing in perhaps for the final time as a professional mixed martial arts athlete, lightweight veteran Scott Hot Sauce Holtzman.
Scott Holtzman.
The official weight for Scott Holtzman.
155.5 for Scott Holtzman. His fight with Clay Guida is official.
5.5.
All right, next we make way for another legend competing in a prelim in the UFC's featherweight division. He is Darren the Damage Elkins.
Darren Elkins, UFC appearance number 27. He already extends the record for the most featherweight appearances. His featherweight appearance number 25. $145 on the dot for Darren Elkins. His fight with Jonathan Pearce is now official.
All right, next fighter to hit the scale today, the 13th ranked UFC women's strawweight contender, Emily Ducote.
Here comes Emily Ducote to weigh in, a former Invicta champion, as is her opponent, Angela Hill.
19 and a half the official weight for Ducote.
And she comes in at the same weight as Angela Hill at 115.5. So that fight is now official.
All right, next athlete to weigh in this morning as we continue to turn and burn, continuing to improve in the lightweight division, Genaro Valdez.
Genaro Valdez coming to weigh in. He fights Natan Levy. This will be a lightweight contest.
$156. 156, the official weight for Genaro Valdez.
156 for Genaro Valdez, using that 1 pound allowance. That's what it's there for. That's what it's there for. Go for it. Use it. Use all that weight you can.
All right, next fighter to the stage, competing in a featured bout on the main card in the flyweight division, the number 6 ranked contender, Matheus Nicolau.
Matheus Nicolau coming to weigh in for his fight with Matt Schnell. Nicolau, I think, one of the most underrated guys at flyweight. He just does not seem to get the respect he deserves.
$126, the official weight for Mr. Nicolau.
126 for Matheus Nicolau.
All right, next fighter to the scale, competing in a prelim in the lightweight division, Natan Levy.
Okay, we just saw his opponent weigh in moments ago, and here comes Natan Levy. $156 for Natan Levy. So that fight with Genaro Valdez is now official.
All right, next fighter to the stage, competing on the main card of the middleweight division, Roman Dolidze.
Here's Roman Dolidze, late notice. $185.5 for Roman Dolidze. He's been in a hot streak, taking a big opportunity here.
Future Hall of Famer, former UFC lightweight champion, competing in the co-main event here at welterweight, Rafael.
Dolidze replacing Derek Brunson to fight Jack Hermansson. Here comes RDA to fight Bryan Barberena in the co-main.
$170, the official weight for Rafael dos Anjos.
170 on the dot for Rafael dos Anjos. That fight with Bryan Barberena is official. Official? It's official.
Weighing this morning at lightweight on an absolute tear as we say hello to Marc.
$155.5 for Marc. His fight with Michael Johnson is now official.
Looks like we got a bit of a break now.
Fantastic. I need to step away from the mic for 2 seconds. I will return to entertain you.
To entertain.
All right, everyone. Sorry about that. I just had to handling site business as well. Moderating some comments on MMAfighting.com. Comments made by the wonderful, wonderful listeners and readers. And thank you guys. Thank you everyone who's watching right now and tuning in. This is a pretty good card. This would have been a nice year ender, as opposed to the December 17th card, which isn't like super fantastic, but again, not to disrespect it. It's just I think UFC Orlando is really stacked. We've seen. I will send Jose a fancy schmancy screenshot of the weight so far, guys. I know there's a lot of questions tuning in at various times. Has such and such fighter weighed in? Who did anybody miss? I'll tell you right now, nobody has missed weight. I'll probably leave a pinned comment as well with some of the bigger names so people know who has come along. But here, Jose, I'm about to send you a spicy thing you can put on screen with the current weights, if you would like to, Jose. You don't have. There's no law that says you have to use this screenshot.
In Orlando, there is.
There's a lot. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of laws in Florida that would confuse me, a Canadian. So we are only waiting on.
They confuse me, an American.
An American. We're waiting on Matt Schnell. We got a couple of heavyweights too. Tuivasa, Sergei Pavlovich. Probably not in a hurry. Jack Hermansson, Eryk Anders, couple of middleweights, not fighting each other. Jack Hermansson fighting Roman Dolidze, who just weighed in. Eryk Anders fighting Kyle Daukaus, who weighed in earlier. Phil Rowe is also, we're waiting for him on the prelims, and the only other prelim fighter is Tracy Cortez. So big rush there at the beginning.
There you go. Weights are up on screen.
Oh, let me look at this. On the. I've got our own stream open to see how fantastic this looks. Okay, guys, I'm moderating 2 sets of comments here. There it is. Look at that, people. Listen, I go for clarity over sizzle. Okay, this is the stake. You guys want the weights? I'm gonna pin. 1 second, guys. I'm gonna pin some weights here as well. There you go. So at the very least, people, you've got the information for everyone so far. I have pinned the main event. If I see anyone asking, "Oh, did Stephen Thompson show up yet? Did Kevin Holland show up yet?" That's a blocking. That's an automatic blocking. Don't need that kind of nonsense. People, you can click on the pinned message. You can see the wonderful graphic that. I didn't even make the cursor disappear before taking the screenshot. That is just it's fantastic stuff. Jose, since I have you,
what it is?
You called my bluff. I actually didn't have anything to follow that up. No. Let me get your thoughts on this main event. Let's talk about the main event now, because I don't know how long the show is going to be, because of either the heavyweights. It could be a case where they show up at the end, or we could be done within the next hour. So, fingers crossed, it's the former. But Stephen Thompson, Kevin Holland. What's your take on it? It's the only prediction I've kind of really put a lot of thought into so far. I've been working on my predictions for the site. I don't feel strongly about the pick I've made. I'd love to know where you're leaning.
What's the pick you made? So I know to pick against it.
Okay, that's usually a pretty solid rule. I'm leaning Holland, but if anyone sees the write-up that's going to go up on Saturday, it's a classic, it's called like an IK pick, where I say all the reasons why one fighter will probably win, like all the advantages, for example, that Stephen Thompson has, and then I go, but I'm picking Kevin Holland just out of a feeling or some other like one factor. So I am leaning Holland. The age thing matters to me. I have been picking a lot against a lot of older fighters lately. It hasn't always worked. Rafael was an amazing example of, I think a lot of people picked against him. He looked fantastic against Victor Henry. So, but I'm still going this way. It is the normal sized cage, correct?
Yes.
Jose?
There's usually if you're ever wondering if the event is in an NBA arena, normally it is the big octagon, just because they need to take up space. But if it's like a smaller venue, you know how it goes.
And that's another factor that I think would be in Wonder Boy's favor. But again, he is turning 40 soon, if I'm not, or he's turning 40, 39? How old is he now?
I think he might be.
He's turning 40 in February. So, and listen, age is nothing but a number. The guy's in fantastic shape. He, for the most part, hasn't suffered any crazy knockouts other than the Anthony Pettis one. He has taken a bit of damage, certainly from wrestlers in his past 2 fights, but I don't know. Jose, yeah, what's your take? Am I overreacting to the age gap and the
No, because
the size gap?
age is definitely a thing, especially in a sport where physical violence is involved. But Kevin Wonderboy obviously historically does pretty well against fellow strikers. Not obviously Anthony Pettis is a pretty glaring difference, but the guys that have beaten him are Bilal Muhammad, who's just kind of smothering, always pushing forward, down to grapple wrestle, all that kind of stuff. Who else?
Darren Till
Gilbert
is the only.
Burns.
Yeah.
Well, and then you could argue that there's a very legitimate argument that Stephen Thompson won that fight.
Yeah, and I would also say Till there's a size advantage there as well, and also
Huge
that fight
size
is like
advantage.
also that fight was just like terrible. And
It was also in Darren Till's backyard, literally.
Correct.
So I'm leaning Stephen Thompson. He historically does, especially with like Kevin Holland, who's also very long. He's not going to try to blitz in. I could very much foresee a fight play out where Kevin Holland stays on the outside too, and Stephen Thompson just pieces him up. If that makes sense.
Yeah, he does not lose to strikers. Again, other than Anthony Pettis, which
he was winning that fight.
And he was winning the fight. And I'm not calling like the Anthony Pettis thing like a lucky shot, but it's just like you got caught. He got caught. It happens to everyone. Stephen Thompson got caught. And again, the only other striker he's lost to, Darren Till, which again, a bigger guy, like we just said, in Till's hometown. A questionable decision. I'm looking at MMA decisions right now. It looks like there's about 20-something media scores. Three had it 48-47 Till. Our own Jose Young's had it 48-47 Thompson. And there are several 49-46 Thompson scores as well. So, again, not a fight well remembered for Till. I mean, it is a win on his record for sure. Till also missed weight, I think, for that fight. So,
yes, he did. And still got the title shot.
Right. So when we talk about Wonderboy losing the strikers, there are other circumstances around it. And again, other than the Pettis thing was clean. But if we're talking about losing decisions to strikers, only Darren Till and a very questionable call at that. And again, the other circumstances around it. So I don't know. I don't know how I can go with Holland. I'm just feeling, just because the age thing, maybe he can mix in some offensive wrestling. He obviously, it's not like a super strength of his, but he should at least consider it. But I could see.
I don't think there's going to be much. I don't think there's going to be much grappling at all.
Let me. Can I throw up a poll without taking out the pinned? I can't. I got to go to the people on this, Jose. I got to go to the people on this. 1 second.
Oh, also, by the way, AK, happy birthday.
I will counter that with you.
Shut up.
Everyone, put it up in the comments. Shout out to Jose. It is his actual birthday, not like me, where my birthday is every day. This is actually December 2nd. It is Jose Young's birthday, so please, guys, throw that up in the comments. Get him on Twitter at Jose Youngs. Let him know.
It's also, more importantly, it is Britney Spears' birthday.
Okay.
Nelly Furtado's birthday.
Sure.
Aaron Rodgers' birthday. Aaron Jones' birthday. Cheeto Vera's birthday. And Action Bronson's birthday.
Those are all great birthdays. That's a great
and the late
set of
Darryl
birthday
Kyle.
brothers and sisters. That's a great set of birthday brothers and sisters.
Facts.
And it is also Clay Guida's birthday next Wednesday or something. What am I looking at? Yeah, next Thursday. The inimitable Clay Guida will turn 41 years young on December 8th, next Thursday. And again, he goes into his 34th UFC appearance. This is just, the numbers are mind-blowing. We've got some crazy amount of appearances here. I mean, look, we've got a veteran in the main event and Wonderboy, but then we're talking Rafael dos Anjos, UFC appearance number 33. Who else we got here? Angela Hill, UFC appearance number 22.
I believe Angela Hill has the most fights in the strawweight division, right?
Correct. And actually, and the most appearances by a woman, period, in the UFC. 22
Oh,
UFC
really?
appearances. That is, yes. And I think she broke it in her last fight, I want to say, or it could be
Her
this fight.
her
It
last
could be
fight,
this fight.
her last fight, she also became, I don't know, she became the second woman to have like 1,000 significant strikes or 1,200 significant strikes, something like that. The only other woman above her is Joanna,
Yeah.
who she's obviously catching up to. And then all the other ones are like Max Holloway, Donald Cerrone, like those kind of guys.
Yeah. Michael Johnson, UFC appearance 25. Darren Elkins, UFC appearance 27. I've got to do a tweet later of the combined, like just taking some of these names and the combined appearances. This is pretty spectacular. And then you've got a lot of fresh blood as well. So great, really great balance on this card.
Is this fight card better than the pay-per-view next week?
I think so. I think most people are in agreement. You know, once the main event went out,
Yeah.
I think you have to look at it that way. There's some excitement. I'm just looking at 282 now. A lot of people hyped for Raul Rosas Jr. Yeah, it's not bad at all. The return of Edmund Shabazian.
Robbie Lawler's on that card too, right?
Always a good sign. Chris Curtis, Joaquin Buckley's gonna be a banger.
Yeah, they don't really like each other.
I think Paddy Pimblett and the co-main. I'm a Paddy sort of like. I think Paddy's like a legitimate star. I mean, I know Paddy's a legitimate star. I mean, I think he's like not as bad a fighter as people think. So I think putting him in the co-main of a pay-per-view is perfect. Maybe he loses. Jared Gordon's tough.
I think it's a little early for a paper. I think it's a little early for Paddy in the co-main event.
I think he was like the best choice. You could go Lawler, Ponzinibbio as the co-main, I guess, but I think he was the best choice with everything falling out.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it is because it's true because people did ask me a lot about Paddy whenever he fights. There's a lot of people ask me about Molly when she fought.
Yep. Molly, responsible for one of my favorite clips ever, her busting you for your inability to order at Nando's properly.
Jesus Christ.
One of the best. I've watched that so many times.
When she calls me George Michael. At the was it Paddy? Was it Paddy who called me George Michael at when they were the guest fighters in Phoenix? He's like, I don't know what's worse, your Nando's order or your earrings. And I was like, what the hell? Where does this come from?
Oh, Jose, they love you. They love you. Also, I want to shout out a happy birthday to our own Guillermo Cruz's grandmother. Turns 94 today.
She is infinitely more important than me. So big ups.
Stop it. You are both. We love you both very much. You're very important. Pop up, but yes, big ups to Grandma Gui, or Grandma Cruz, however you guys want to put that.
That's fine.
Grandma Gui. All right. I'll do a classic Mike Heck rundown. I was kind of wanting to see if he would pop up. I know he's let us know it could be a bit, but I will do a rundown. Maybe the rundown will summon Mike. Normally it's our little weigh-in rain dance, bring someone to the scale. Maybe this will bring Mike around. Let's see. All right. So I don't need any music. We'll just go from the top. The main event is official. Stephen Thompson facing Kevin Holland. Stephen Thompson 170. Kevin Holland 170.5. In the co-main, also welterweight bout, Bryan Barberena coming off that big win over Robbie Lawler. He came in 170.5, faces another former UFC champion, former lightweight champion, Rafael dos Anjos, who came in at 170. Top 10 flyweight contender, Matheus Nicolau, 126. He is waiting for Matt Schnell to weigh in. Neither Tuivasa nor Sergei Pavlovich have weighed in for their heavyweight contests, but they are heavyweights. They're in Orlando. They're probably were chilling on a beach late last night and are in no rush to come in this morning. Jack Hermansson also waiting. We are also waiting for him. His opponent, short notice replacement Roman Dolidze, 185.5.
Who was just an absolute ray of sunshine immediately.
This sounds sarcastic.
A little bit.
Hold on. We're going to pick up on that. You're not going to let that hang there. Kyle Daukaus, 184.5. He weighed his opponent, Eryk Anders. Niko Price closing out the prelims in a welterweight bout. Came in at 170 on the dot. We're waiting for Phil Rowe. Ranked strawweights, Angela Hill and Emily Ducote, former Invicta champions, both weighed in 115.5. Clay Guida, the veteran, coming in 154.5 for his fight with Scott Holtzman, who weighed in 155.5. Michael Johnson, another lightweight veteran, coming in 156 against Marc Diakiese, 155.5. I just stopped saying veteran. All these guys are veterans. Darren Elkins coming in at 145 for a featherweight bout with Jonathan Pearce, 146. Amanda Ribas, competing in 2 divisions, ranked in strawweight, wants to be ranked in flyweight too. Could be if she beats Tracy Cortez. Ribas came in at 125. Tracy Cortez, we are still waiting on. Natan, Levy, and Genaro Valdez both weighed in 156 for their lightweight bout. That is official. Marcelo Rojo and Francis Marshall also came in at the same weight, 145 for a featherweight bout. And opening up the entire card, Jasmine Jauregui came in at 155.5 for her fight with Stella Nunes, who weighed in 114.5. I was wrong. Did not summon any fighters. Did not summon Mike Heck, and we have a few to go. Jose, please tell us more about the the media day disposition of Roman Dolidze.
Well, Oscar Willis kind of held court at media day. He was pretty much the only one asking questions. I wasn't there, and he was telling me that he would ask Roman Dolidze questions, and Roman just seemed very combative. Is that correct? Yeah, yeah. He just kind of pushed back on. Yeah, he was just very. They were very, media day basic questions like, "Oh, how prepared were you?" Like this and that. He goes, "Why wouldn't I be prepared?" He was just very agitated, like pushed back on very basic answers. That was very confusing.
I feel like this isn't the first time. I'd have to look at his. You know what? I'm mixing him up with Paul Craig.
Because they have beards?
Yeah.
They're not like one's Scottish and one's Georgian.
Correct. But they do have. But they both do have beards though.
They both have very piercing eyes too.
They both have piercing eyes. So I'm not. Yeah, listen, I'm not crazy about it. But yeah, I do feel like this isn't the first time Roman has been a little, not necessarily the most cooperative with the media. Maybe that's not his favorite part of the game. It could just be, again, I would not surprise me, a tough weight cut. He is coming in on short notice.
True.
This card, as far as I can remember, I'm going by, of course, our fine friends at Tapology, only has one bout that changed, one scheduled bout that changed.
We got movement.
There we go. There's the rain dance. Let's go. We have people taking a picture.
Yeah, I guess that's what the big movement was. No, because Anik is set up. Anik is set up. Anik ran over and grabbed his mic.
Can you and Oscar go take a picture next?
You want me and Oscar to take a photo?
You guys take a picture in front of the scale. I'm just saying.
Oh. Here we go.
Yep, someone's coming.
All right, next fighter to the scale is the 13th ranked UFC women's flyweight contender, Tracy Cortez.
Here is Tracy Cortez with Bryan Ortega in tow.
The official weight for Tracy Cortez.
125 championship weight for Tracy Cortez. Her fight with Amanda Ribas is now official. Cortez had missed the flyweight limit once before, I think 2 fights ago, I want to say, but no issue today. Did not need any of the extra ounces. 125 on the dot. I think a lot of people looking forward to that preliminary bout. I'm going to have to ask you later, Jose, what's your favorite preliminary? Now, I'm not going to ask you now. You just trying to think about your favorite preliminary bout. And I'm also going to make sure you pick one, because you are a fight guru. You do seem to know everything about every fighter, every fight. And usually when we ask you for a banger, there are like 4 bangers. And you're not wrong, especially on a card like this where there's a ton of bangers. I'm going to see if I can get you.
Wrong ever.
You've never been wrong. This is true. I mean, undeniable. Never been wrong ever. I'm just trying to make sure everything is right in the world of MMA fighting comments. People, you'd be surprised sometimes. Some people take advantage of our comment system on YouTube and on MMAfighting.com. It's true. All right. So again, just to remind anyone tuning in, we are about just a little over half an hour into the weigh-ins. We had a huge flurry at the beginning. The majority of the fighters have weighed in without issue. There have been no misses. Main eventers Stephen Thompson, Kevin Holland are on. Co-main eventers Bryan Barberena and Rafael dos Anjos are also on. Everyone in the prelims has weighed in successfully, except for Phil Rowe. His opponent, Niko Price, did weigh in. And also on the main card, waiting for Eryk Anders, waiting for Jack Hermansson, Matt Schnell, and a couple of heavyweights, Tuivasa and Sergei Pavlovich, who, again, we may have to wait a while for. They are heavyweights. They're big guys. Ty is usually pretty close to the limit. Sergei, I have to see what he weighed in last time. I think Sergei's all right. He's a pretty huge dude, but I don't think he comes in. I'm going to check now first. 254.5 first fight with Derek Lewis. 254.5, and that's been pretty consistent with 254, 253. So I wouldn't worry too much about Sergei. I wouldn't worry too much about Ty either, to be honest. He's Ty Tuivasa. He's somewhere out there acting a fool probably. If you guys missed the weigh-ins, I'm sure we'll have those highlights for you soon. But you can also check out our Twitter if you missed. Again, if you're looking for Stephen Thompson's weigh-in, if you're looking for Kevin Holland's weigh-in, guys, that is on the social medias. That is on Twitter. I assume also on Instagram, Jose.
It is, and the TikTok.
Zach also on the tick. People, please make sure to subscribe to the MMA Fighting TikTok. I know everyone watching has already subscribed to follows on Twitter, follows on Instagram. Make sure you check out the TikTok. TikTok has been live for a little while now. There's been some great stuff on there, and we're just trying to keep our pulse on the nation.
He says.
On the nation. Listen, I'm a young man. I'm hip. I'm with it. I'm not always TikToking.
How old are you, AK?
It's not. I am 9. Yeah, I'm 19 years old.
Yeah, that
I
beard
feel 19 inside. Yeah. People can't see. I've got a pretty thick face of hair going here, but it's a good, So you guys can't see it right now. It's too bad. Well, Jose, again, if we're talking about age, Rafael dos Anjos just recently turned 38. Bryan Barberena, 5 years younger, considerable less wear and tear, but that's not true. He's been in quite a few fights himself, a lot of wars. So I don't know. It could be comparable. I mean, he has a lot less fights, but still has a lot. He still has plenty. He's past a certain threshold where we would say someone hasn't had a lot of fights. Anyway, for this one, I am leaning towards. Right now, again, I may change when we do the preview show. I am leaning towards Dos Anjos. I think he just might mix the martial arts better. But sure. I picked against the older fighter in the main, and I'm going with the older fighter in the co-main. I don't know if I'm crazy here. Again, Bryan Barberena just had a really impressive win against Robbie Lawler. I don't know, Jose. Where are you going with this one?
For Robbie Lawler and say it again. Sorry, I was doing something else.
Oh, sorry, for Bryan Barberena and RDA.
Ooh, that's tough because Bryan Barberena was definitely losing to Robbie Lawler before he wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
RDA is a very, very good fighter. I think he'd be a problem if they ever added a 165 pound division because I feel like it's really difficult for him to get to 155. Cuts a lot of weight, and you have to wonder how depleted he feels. And then at the same time, he's just way too small for 170. I know he has big wins at 170, but once you get to the upper echelon with the Colby Covingtons of the world, the size factor just plays a big difference. So I'm gonna go RDA. I just think he's a more well-rounded mixed martial artist.
I think so too, right? That's the problem. This is one of those fights where if I think about if I just give it a quick thought, I'm thinking who is the more skilled, better fighter? It's definitely RDA. It's definitely RDA. The weight class shouldn't matter.
And I would feel that Bryan Barberena might agree with you.
And Bryan Barberena is not a. I'm gonna have to look back on he's not a one-shot kill guy.
No, he.
Is that fair to say?
He takes a lot of damage, and then just kind of you get tired, and then he explodes.
Yeah, and I think RDA is pretty tough. I don't think he's gonna get and I hate to use this as a verb now, but Frankie'd, or I guess Marlon, if we want to go with more stiff, right? We're doing really well and then gets caught. That hasn't happened to RDA yet. Oh, unless we talk about the Fiziev fight. Nah, that fight was pretty competitive. It's not like he was dominating that fight and then he got caught.
That fight was super competitive before he got caught.
Yeah. So it's not like he was winning and then oh no, RDA is he just has to hold on for this 5th round. He's gonna win the fight. It's no, Fiziev Fizie's really good. So I don't think RDA is in that stage yet where we need to like worry about him just randomly getting caught by people. But fingers crossed, that's not what happens. Because some of them you can see the writing on the wall. I think we all thought that with Marlon. Frankie, obviously, we knew that was the case heading into his last couple of fights, probably. I don't want to believe that that's where RDA is yet. So in that case, I think you have to go RDA, but man, it's I'm sure. Let me see that. Let's just see the good people on Tapology. Which direction? I would check gambling websites, except I can't. I'm blocked in Ontario right now. If I try to check any gambling websites, yes, it will reroute to the Canadian version of the site. I'm in Ontario. For anyone who missed the news, the Gambling and Alcohol Board, I'm sorry, I'm saying the name wrong, I'm sure, of Ontario has mandated to casinos, online betting sites, lotteries, no more wagering on the UFC, no more accepting or offering wagers. Excuse me, the Alcohol and Gaming Commission of Ontario. Because they've kind of discovered they believe that UFC events may not be compliant with their quote betting integrity requirements. The statement, you can guys find the story on MMAfighting.com. You can also find the statement on the Alcohol and Gaming Commission of Ontario website. Obviously, this sort of comes in the wake of the UFC banning fighters from betting on bouts, and then the Derek Minner, Shailen Nurden BK incident.
Before you go back to that, we're going to replay Kevin Holland and Stephen Thompson's weigh-in because I can pull up that.
Let's go.
So this is a replay live now. We could still hear us though. There's no audio apparently, but Kevin Holland and Stephen Thompson did make weight.
It was 170.5 for Kevin Holland, 170 on the dot for Stephen Thompson. Stephen Thompson recently appearing in our own Damon Martin's Fighter and the Writer. Make sure you guys check out that episode. I believe that's this week's episode. And there's also an article up on MMAfighting.com. Wonder Boy is not talking retirement, guys. He's not talking, legacy fights and just getting big name opponents. He just wants another shot at that UFC title. Had 2 cracks at it, both against Tyron Woodley. Just fell short both times. One of them was a draw, but lost the other one. He thinks he can still be world champion.
Stephen Thompson is stepping on the scale in our replay right now. Good timing.
There we go. This is the TV magic.
And there you have it, folks. That was the replay.
Thank you, Jose, for providing that again.
Learning things on the fly.
Fantastic. For anyone who may have just come in and be like, oh no, you guys did the replays and I missed it. Again, all up on our social media. We'll have it up in the post, the results weigh-ins post. You've missed this is the internet age, guys. You've missed nothing. You may have missed the live magic that happened when they actually stepped to the scale. But replays are plenty, again, on all of MMA Fighting's social media, soon to be on MMAfighting.com as well. Sorry, yes, as I was saying, I would love to check the odds for some of these fights. I can't. There is no more gambling on the UFC. If anyone else in Ontario that's listening to this and have not checked your gambling apps lately, go ahead now, and you will see UFC. There's just search for UFC, search for Bellator, PFL, whatever. It's just not an option. Those odds don't exist anymore. You cannot bet on MMA, I think. Maybe it's just UFC. I think that was fake news. Well, you're definitely not UFC. Why? I don't know why I would say Bellator. But you definitely cannot bet on the UFC. That is gone. Those 3 letters are gone. Gone from the apps.
That's unbelievable. Sorry, we don't know. Sorry if you're hearing us talk about this. We just saw a tweet that Drew Brees, like one of the greatest NFL quarterbacks ever, was apparently struck by lightning filmed a
Oh,
promotional video, and there's video of it.
should I be
Terrible.
laughing? That sounds sad.
No, it's terrible. But like,
Okay,
imagine
I thought you got.
catching
Oh,
that
okay.
on camera. Yeah, it was just like
My
it's just like imagine catching that on camera.
shout outs to my old roommate, Mitch Sanderson, huge Saints fan. I'm sure he's not thrilled with having seen Mr. Drew Brees take a lightning bolt. They had a lot of good times together when he was in New Orleans. But yes. Anyways, yes, I cannot gamble. I can't even check odds in Ontario right now. I'll probably just check some American website.
What?
But,
What's been the reaction to not being able to gamble up?
I mean, it's pretty rough. I mean, Ontario is the biggest sports market in all of Canada.
Is it?
Yes. A lot of people were very excited. I mean, it kind of only recently within the last year, became that you could even bet online in Ontario. So there's a lot of excitement. It's the numbers like kind of not like haven't hit like US numbers yet as far as like how much revenue has been generated by it, but it's still like a massive number. It was something like I suppose like it's still in the hundreds of millions of revenue that have been generated in like the last like 6 months just from online betting and things like that. And that's just from like DraftKings and some of the newer guys getting to the market. We've had our own sort of lotteries and things like that, and casinos in Ontario that have once they were able to add online betting guys like the UFC and stuff like that. It's like it just filled their coffers even more. So it's a very strange thing to see.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting because the UFC probably will return to Canada in 2023. I imagine somewhere in Ontario, probably Toronto, and you won't be able to bet on it. It's at least not legal, at least not on shore, as it were. So I'm sure people have their ways of betting. People have been betting, obviously, in Canada, finding ways to bet for years. But that convenience is now out the window, and there's just this weird cloud hanging over the gambling scene in Ontario. So very strange. I want to find the exact wording from the AGCO. This part that really jumps out. So I think the quote from there. Oh, okay, here's the statement. This is in their statement. The AGCO, Alcohol and Gaming Commission Ontario, has learned of publicized alleged incidents, including possible betting by UFC insiders, as well as reports of suspicious betting patterns in other jurisdictions. So again, you don't need to be a genius to connect this to the recent controversy with Darren Minner, Shaila Nerdin-Bike, the Darren Minner injury, Darren Minner's coach, James Krause running a Discord channel, which has now since been shut down, offering betting advice. And again, this is not named in the statement. These is my comments. This is my speculation. Oh my gosh. Hold on, everyone. We have been joined.
Oh, wow.
We have been joined. I don't know if you need to pipe him in. I don't know how this technology works.
I think he's good. Mike.
My best friend, Mike Heck, is here.
Oh, here he is. I sure hope so.
I can. Hopefully, listen. Mike, we were just talking about how I cannot gamble on the UFC in Ontario anymore because of some recent mischief in the UFC. The commission in Ontario did not name names, but I think we can maybe connect it to stuff going to happen with Darren Minner, maybe some stuff going on with the UFC and James Krause. I don't know. By the way, the James Krause thing, Mike. I mean, why has nobody reported on this? I don't know. Have you heard? Do you hear about that? No one is talking about this. This is great. How does no one talk? This is so crazy. Oh, you haven't done a heck of a. So that was yesterday that you had a little online social media scuffle, and then today will be the first.
Hey, hold up, guys. 1 second, guys. Before you guys continue, you guys are going to be on camera here in a second.
What?
Yeah,
oh,
I
I'm
can
not
do
prepared.
that now. I have time. You're
okay,
good.
People are gonna see me at my.
You guys look beautiful as ever.
That's fine. All right.
But once the fighters come back, well, obviously I'll have to.
Okay, excellent.
All right, you guys are now. We can see both of your beautiful faces.
Hello, I'm glad I washed my face. But yes, Mike, you have talked about the James
go ahead,
Krause
Mike.
situation.
Sorry for
you have talked about it before.
Wait, apparently, can we not hear Mike?
Oh no. Okay, let me see the YouTube comments saying they can't hear Mike. Oh, they can't. Yeah, the people are saying they cannot hear Mike.
Oh no.
Oh no. Okay.
I'll figure something out, guys.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. I will.
I don't know.
Because I can see Mike, say something. That's very weird because I can see your levels moving, but we can't hear you. That's strange.
Wow.
I don't know. Oh no.
And I also just realized I cannot dramatically turn to the side. I'm looking at I'm wondering. I'm dual monitoring here, and I'm looking at the YouTube video. I'm seeing a beautiful shot of the side of my head. So that is just fantastic.
I don't know how to make this. I don't know. I mean, this has never happened before. This has worked many a time in the past.
All right, everyone, don't worry. We're sorting that out. You can hear Jose. You can hear me. We can hear Mike. I'll tell you, Mike is dropping.
We can hear Mike. He sounds beautiful as ever.
He's actually like cussing out like so many people right now. You have no idea.
Yeah.
He's just going. He's naming names. Like he's like just like behind the scenes insider stuff that I'm just trying. I'm messaging him on like Slack right now. Like, Mike, settle down. Settle down. Your audio will pop on at any second, and then we are gonna get in some serious trouble. So. Again, for anyone just joining in, this is the UFC Orlando official weigh-ins live stream. It is Jose Young's birthday, December 2nd, so please shout out. Tell him a happy birthday. A legitimate happy birthday for Jose Young. One of the hardest, I would say, one of the hardest working people in sports. I was going to say MMA, but in sports. In sports.
Sure.
This man travels. This man is making the best graphics. If you didn't see his Thanksgiving graphic for, go to MMAfighting.com and look up like Thanksgiving, what are fighters thankful for. Beautiful graphic. Beautiful graphic.
We do our best. I can't figure out why we can't hear Mike. Because I can see your levels bouncing perfectly.
Yeah, let's just do the old reset. Kick the machine. Just blow the cartridge. Blow the cartridge. Nobody in the YouTube comments knows what I'm talking about.
I can hear you, Crystal. I can see your levels bouncing perfectly. I don't think so, because now your levels have disappeared, but we can hear you. It's very strange.
Oh, this is weird. So Mike is back, but guys, Mike is back, but I guess you guys still can't hear him.
I genuinely have no idea. This is an anomaly to me. Oh well. Sorry, guys.
All right,
join Mike at 11. Join Mike at 11:30 for Heck of a Mark. Sorry, Mike. We'll figure this out by next time. All right. Peace, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. Heck of a morning, 11 a.m. today, guys. After the weigh-in window is over. Again, we don't know exactly when the weigh-ins are going to end. We are waiting on some names. We got a couple of heavyweights: Tuivasa, Sergei, Pavlovich, who could show up in the next 5 minutes. Could show up in the next 45 minutes. We don't know. They are heavyweights. They're probably just in no rush. But sorry, guys. Sorry we couldn't get Mike in. I know you guys were all excited about that. We'll keep on going. I'll go on his Jay. By the way, Jay.
We got movement anyway.
Happy birthday, Jose. Always appreciate your work. Fist
emoji.
We
do our best. We persevere. AK, I think for my birthday, you need to get a tattoo now.
That is not going to happen. Of you?
Sure, why not?
Of your face? That I would.
Of me and Sam Rockwell high five.
After a slam dunk.
Well, maybe after he's thrown me a touchdown pass.
Oh, okay. Too soon. Come on, man. The Drew Brees thing just happened. Jeez Louise.
I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah, you were. I mean, you may not have been intentionally, but subliminally.
He's thrown me a touchdown pass. I've caught it. Sam Rockwell's high fiving me, and I'm trying to think of someone else. I don't know.
Breaking news: Jake Paul has tweeted. Jake Paul has tweeted, quoting an MMA fighting tweet. Maybe I'll get to that after.
All right, next fighter to the stage, the 4th ranked UFC heavyweight contender on the main card live on ESPN, Bam Tuivasa.
I said we could see one of the heavyweights sooner rather than later. Glad to see it. Here is the lovable Tai Tuivasa. Oh, we got to talk about what song will he come out to on Saturday. We can try and figure that out.
He is very tall.
266, the official weight for Tai Tuivasa.
266 for Tai Tuivasa. I told people he always comes in near the limit. That's right at the limit, using the 1 pound allowance for a heavyweight, as he should, as it is his right to do so. So there's Tai Tuivasa. We are still waiting for his opponent, Sergei Pavlovich. Jake Paul. What do I want to talk about first? Jake Paul. No, let's talk about Tai. What a tall Tai just came up. Jose, any ideas what song he may come out to on Saturday? We are in Orlando, which is the birthplace, the home of boy bands. I don't know if he's really a boy band guy though.
Is it? I think he should come out to "We Genie" by the movie Kazam, considering Shaq played for the Orlando Magic and he's plays Kazam.
Okay, wow, that is a that's a deep cut.
We don't mess with
Next fighter to weigh in this morning, Johnson, kicking off the main card in the UFC's middleweight division, your boy Eryk Anders.
Here's Eryk Anders.
$186, the official weight for Eryk Anders.
186 for Eryk Anders. His belt with Kyle Daukaus is now official. So we are just waiting on 4 names now: Matt Schnell, Sergei Pavlovich, Jack Hermansson, and Phil Rowe. Very smooth weigh-ins so far. I'm trying to find a record. Let's see if people are talking about coming out to Ace of Base, the sign. That would be amazing. Thank you. That's from Disco Duck. Barbie Girl. He did Barbie Girl already. People are saying Barbie Girl. I don't think he comes out to the same song twice. I could be wrong. I don't think he's going to come out to Barbie Girl again. I want to say Barbie Girl was the first time. I don't know if it was that or the.
I think it was when it was Greg Hardy fight.
Wow, that's what a tonal shift. I'm just gonna list it. 1,000 miles. He came out to Vanessa Carlton, 1,000 miles. Which, by the way,
Vanessa Carlton lives in Rhode Island now. Big ups for her.
Really?
Yeah, she lives down the street from my
By
parents.
the way, that I'm gonna just sorry, but you guys can hear me typing. That song has one of the most overlooked drum parts in a pop song. If you guys listen to that song, do yourselves a favor. It is a little homework from AK. Listen to the song 1,000 Miles sometime today and just focus on the drums. The drums are done by, one of the all-time great drummers in Abe Laboriel Jr., who's drummed for friggin' everybody. And he just gives he just puts a little extra sauce on it. This isn't your typical just keeping time on a pop track. This is an incredible drum track. And if you've never listened to it, I cannot recommend it enough. It's just a great pop song in general, of course, but focus on those drums just one time. What songs did Tai come out to? Like we said, 1,000 Miles, My Heart Will Go On, of course. Wannabe? Did he come out to Wannabe? I'm seeing someone say he came out to Wannabe. Oh no, these are predictions for what he'll come out to. All right, people, keep throwing in the comments. I'll read some of these out. Darude Sandstorm. That's Vanderlei's song. Average Avenues 11 says Backstreet's Back. Everybody, Backstreet's Back by the Backstreet Boys. That would be so amazing. I really hope that's what it is. I'm seeing more ABBA recommendations. 2 Live Crew. Toby Matana saying Britney Spears, Oops, I Did It Again. I thought he came out to Hit Me Baby One More Time before, so I don't know if he would do Britney again. What else we got here? Girls Just Want to Have Fun was against Derek Lewis. Okay, yeah, thank you. Average Avenues 11, yeah. Dank Buds, he's gonna walk out to Friday by Rebecca Black. I think if the card was on Friday, he might do that, but oops, I did not. Wow, I was late on the Eryk Anders thing. All right, guys, keep sending your suggestions. We're gonna talk about some other things here, but yeah.
Rebecca Black also has a song called Saturday.
What? Oh, of course she does. Why wouldn't she? Oh, because there were so many unanswered questions after Friday.
Here's the lyrics. Ready? Here are the lyrics.
Hit us.
By Saturday by Dave Days and Rebecca Black. Oh my God, I love this song. This is my jam. Where is my peanut butter? 2 p.m. getting out of bed. trying to get Friday out of my head. That's the beginning of
Wow.
it.
The peanut butter thing was weird. I was like, this is taking like a Bob Dylan-esque stream of consciousness departure here, but I guess it does. I do see now the narrative connection to the original classic Friday. I can't believe I've never listened to that song. I bet everyone in the comments is like, duh, you didn't know about Saturday?
You done goof, boy.
I done
You're
goof
just
big
not
time.
cultured.
So I
You're
was
just not cultured enough up in Ontario.
I'm not. So I know people come to MMA Fighting for the Jake Paul talk. So I have Jake Paul tweeted about the MMAfighting.com, lovely little graphic about the banning of UFC fights in Ontario. Betting on UFC fights in Ontario. Jake Paul says, I'm gonna have to read this. I'm gonna screen this before I read it. There's some bad language in here, I think. Remember when Dana White and UFC fighters like Colby Covington tried to claim my Askren knockout was rigged? Ironic, isn't it, that the Ontario Gaming Commission believes UFC insiders are rigging fights? Ooh. Pew, pew, pew. Shots fired.
Those are words.
Those are words. Those are words. Not quite as explosive as I had hoped when I saw it, but it is quite a story. And again, I do want to repeat that one part that the commission said is really specifically saying like that they've heard about possible betting by UFC insiders, suspicious betting patterns. But again, they do not. I will say, as much as I brought up the James Krause thing and the Derek Minner thing, no specific incident is named in the Ontario Commission statement. So again, strictly my speculation.
A little bit of movement.
All right, here we go. I'm done talking about the Ontario gambling. Nobody cares about that anymore. I'll find you guys proper odds on another site.
Right, next fighter to the stage, the number 5 ranked UFC heavyweight contender, Sergei Pavlovich.
He's a large man.
Sergei Pavlovich, chiseled from iron, this man.
$255, the official weight for Sergei Pavlovich.
255 for Sergei Pavlovich. That's like a little bit heavier. That's like a pound heavier than usual. So not sure if again, it's probably just some random variation once you get up there, but 255. His opponent, Tuivasa, 266. That fight is official. Just one more main card fighter to go. Flyweight Matt Schnell, and one more preliminary fighter. Rowe. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. 2 main card fighters. Jack Hermansson as well. I apologize.
Has Matt Schnell had issues? Or am I
he has. I don't know if he's missed, but I want to say I don't know if he's officially missed, but I want to say he's had publicized issues with weighing in. Matt Schnell, I apologize if this isn't true.
I know him and Alex Perez are supposed to fight like 5 times, like some crazy like that.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if any of his his cancellations or medical issues were related to a weight cut. Okay, yes, a fight with Tyson Nam, September 12th, UFC Fight Night 183. Where the hell was this? UFC. Oh, it was the Apex card. Schnell was removed from the fight on the day of the event's weigh-ins for health issues related to weight cuts. So it is a thing. It is a thing. He's had opponents miss weight, including Alex Perez, so that was not his fault. So he himself has only had really one notable miss. But what else was I going to talk about on this card? Sorry, guys, I had a thought. Like I said, Jose is juggling a bunch of things. I'm also juggling a bunch of things. That is my excuse. People are still kind of speculating he did Spice Girls not long ago. Yeah, he did come out to Wannabe, if I'm not mistaken. He did come out to Wannabe, so I don't think he does Wannabe again. Jose, you were saying something, weren't you, before?
I don't remember.
Sergei Pavlovich came in. I hate when this happens. I feel like we were just about to break out some like scintillating piece of.
Were we talking about Wee Genie?
Yes. What were you? Yes. No. Hold on. Let's trace it back. We were talking about the Kazam, the Genie.
We were talking about the Jake Paul's thing. You had just read the tweet. Then you're talking about stuff.
Yeah, that wasn't quite the bomb I thought it would be. All right, moving on. Let's just move on, guys. We got, like I said, let's move on. We got a lot of great fights on this card. We've only talked about really the main and co-main. Of the I don't want to just say because every fight, I think really deserves to be broken down a little bit. Let's just keep going one by one for now, Jose. We're talking about Matt Schnell, like we said, still waiting for him to weigh in.
That's right.
He's the kind of guy. He's fought like a who's who at 125. He hasn't quite like climbed into the top 10 himself. He's like been in the top 15, out of the top 15. He's received votes in our rankings. He's been ranked. He's been out of the rankings. A win over Nicolau. Obviously, he would very likely claim Nicolau's top 10 spot, or at least bump Nicolau out of the top 10 and claim a higher ranking in the top 15. I don't know. So I don't know where you are in this matchup. Schnell looked awesome in that Zuma-Derji fight.
He did,
one of my
but
favorite
he was
fights
also getting just smacked up for a while too.
Yeah, that's kind of what he does. He's kind of one of those guys, though. We were talking about Bryan Barberena. Like Schnell's a little bit like that too. He doesn't he's not going in there like dominating anyone. He's kind of got to gut it out.
There's a lot of
Nicolau's not really a berserker though. So I don't think Nicolau's going to run through him. Nicolau's super skilled, very methodical, very well-rounded fighter.
I favor Nicolau in this fight.
Yeah, I think you have to, right? Decision?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'm still bummed out that I believe him and our good friend Shorty Torres were supposed to fight at Brave back when the UFC like cut all those flyweights. A lot of them went they scattered, and then they were supposed to fight in like March 2020, but then the COVID hit, and then eventually Nicolau went back to the UFC, and Shorty's still fighting in Brave. But I was really looking forward to that.
Yeah, that would have been sick. Oh, I remembered what I wanted to mention. Sorry, guys. We'll talk about more fights in a sec. But while we were talking about music, Aries Vader, who I think is our pal, Tokerding Jensen in Denmark, he's saying, I'm waiting for Izzy to come out to In the Blood from the Hades soundtrack. Can you talk to Izzy about it, Jose? You're a comic. Are you a video game guy?
Not really.
Did you play Hades?
Not really.
Oh no, you didn't play Hades. Okay, so you don't know the song.
No.
It's really good. It's a freaking amazing song. Okay, that's right. Yeah, you're just a huge comic movie TV guy. I always forget if you're not really a video game guy.
I got nothing against games. I didn't grow up playing. I didn't grow up playing games. Like I didn't have a game system until college. My first game system was a 360, just so I could essentially I bought it to watch Netflix, and then bought like a couple other games.
It's a time thing too. I mean, I remember people. I can't remember who commented the other day, like,
we got the box of shame.
All right. Such a selling point of games is like, oh, they're 60 hours long now, and I'm like, I remember when I just wanted a game to be like 5 hours long.
Yeah.
Who knows the time? The box, possibly the box of redemption. We don't know what it is yet. It is just the box. It is just the box.
All right, next fighter to the scale, competing in a featured bout on the main card of the flyweight division, the number 7 ranked contender, Matt Schnell.
There we go. We were just talking about potential weigh-in issues with Mr. Matt Schnell. He is requiring the box ahead of time. I think always a smart decision. If you think you're going to have trouble, just bring the box out. Why try and even why mess around with it?
Why tempt fate?
Ooh. I heard 126. Matt Schnell, I think, also heard 126, but it is what announced weight 126.5. So half a pound over for Matt Schnell. He's not getting off the scale yet. I don't.
126.5 the announced weight for Matt Schnell. That is half a pound over the flyweight divisional limit.
Okay, no, sorry. He is exiting. He is put his shorts back on. He's being called back to pose, but that is a miss on his attempt here.
Matt Schnell has until 11 a.m. local time here in Orlando to cut the final half pound.
Did you get that?
Yeah, he has until local time.
Yes.
To okay. I'm just.
Which is in 49 minutes.
I'm letting people know on the Twitter. All right, so that fight with Matheus Nicolau is not official. We're going to see, wait for Matt Schnell to weigh in again. It is half a pound that he is over. I'll send let me hit you with an updated graphic here, Jose. I don't mean to blow your mind, but let's let's get a little extra. Oh, hold on. I'm being silly. There we go. Oh, whatever. Okay, Jose. So yeah, we are just the only person who has not even made an appearance at the scale is Phil Rowe. Matt Schnell possibly is being given time to make another appearance. Who knows if he does? I assume he's going to at least try, but we cannot say for sure that he will make a second attempt. So there's a little updated graphic coming up for you guys, so you can look at that while we wait for Mr. Phil Rowe and possibly Matt Schnell. We are at 10:15 Eastern time to make the weight, as does Phil Rowe. Other than that, everyone has made weight. Boom. Hit him. Give it to him. Just looking at some of the comments here. Josh Locke says, I could never imagine weighing under 170 pounds, LOL, let alone 126. Josh, go. You know what? You got goals, my friend. You know, aim for something like that, and who knows? Maybe you'll come close. If you're trying to get healthy and you're trying to lose some weight, hey, go for it, man. Go for it. Average Avenues 11 has Jack Hermansson weighed in. You know what? Perfect timing. The graphics on the screen now, so you can see there he has not weighed in. What else are people saying? Justin Villegas says Matt Schnell misses weight all the time. Doesn't fight. All time doesn't fight, so 0.5 is a big deal. Again, I think as we know, it's only the one time. But again, I apologize. I was glancing just like his Wikipedia entry. So if I'm missing some Matt Schnell misses that cost him fights, I apologize. So what else we got here? Dank Buds. Ty should pull out the old Rick roll and walk out to Rick Astley. I don't think that's. I mean, Ty goes for corny, but that's a little too. I don't know. It's not topical anymore. Yeah, Kieran Taylor reminding us.
Hermansson still of a song.
Oh, it definitely is. It definitely is. But all right, let's talk about some odds here. Odds according to Topology, and also people predictions. So the main event, Stephen Thompson, Kevin Holland, is a pick'em. It's a pick'em according to this is on Topology again. So depending which sites you go to, I'm sure you can get different odds. But just on Topology right now. I also don't know when this was last updated, but this is just -110 for both to pick'em. But the predictions: 67% Holland, 54% by KO. So I think a lot of people predicted, kind of envisioning, Thompson perhaps getting away with his what he does for maybe a round or two, and then at some point getting caught. I think that was. I don't think people are expecting Holland to knock him out in the first round, but maybe that is what the prediction is. So, the people on Topology leaning much more towards Holland, 67%. It is not a pick'em in that sense. RDA and Bryan Barberena, big favorite RDA, around -340. And he is 82% on Topology picking RDA. That sounds about right. And Matheus Nicolau and Matt Schnell, wow, overwhelmingly in favor of Nicolau. Pretty decent favorite, -225. And 87% of the Topology community is picking Matheus Nicolau to win. 71% say it will be a decision. And as for our own poll that we've had up for a bit, I don't know if this surprises you. I don't know if that's any of that surprised you, Jose. Either the 67% for Holland on 66%, 66%, and 57% in our own poll. Say who wins the UFC Orlando main event? 57%, Kevin Holland. So
Kevin Holland's a very popular fighter.
He is for his outside the cage exploits. People like the vigilante stuff. His fights are certainly memorable. I mean, win or lose, I'm trying to look at the last fight of his that was just kind of like, I guess even the fights where like Vittori and Brunson were memorable for kind of maybe the wrong reasons, but they do stick out in my mind. The Kyle Daukaus fight was completely insane. It's a shame it ended in no contest, but there's really no other way to rule how that fight ended. That was bizarre. And even the Khamzat Chimaev fight was like pretty exciting for like 90 seconds before Khamzat him.
Yeah, it was a fun fight.
Yeah. All right. So those are some odds, guys. Again, I can't check certain sites personally. We're banned in Ontario, so that's just with us. Sergei Pavlovich. Mr. Sergei is favored, minus 165. I think people really like what they see from this guy. He's just a first round finisher, super heavy hitter. Our own Jed Meshew, guys, if you check his gambling column, which I don't know if it has gone up yet. I'm going to say it hasn't. So there's a little teaser, a little inside baseball. He is suggesting maybe there's value in a Tuivasa knockout pick. So a little disrespect. And this is very close on Topology. 55% for Pavlovich, 45% for Tuivasa, and everyone predicting a KO either way, pretty much either KO win for Pavlovich or KO win for Tuivasa. Let's actually move down the card a bit. Angela Hill, Emily Ducote. Ducote slightly favored, minus 125. Let's go to you now, Jose. Let me get your. Now I think it's a good time.
What it is?
What is it? Pick one. We can talk about the whole preliminary card, and we kind of touched upon it, just how many like name veterans there are on it, how many compelling fights there are. You have to pick one. Give me one right now. We'll move on and talk some other things. What's your one fight if you could only talk about one that you would mention?
On the prelims.
Just in the prelims.
I mean, dang, that's tough. Because there's a few that I'm like interested in as like a ranking perspective, then there's a few that I'm really in because that fight's gonna be bananas. Like I think Niko, if you're gonna watch one just for the excitement, I think it's Niko Price, Phil Rowe. Because Niko Price has literally never been in a boring fight. Phil Rowe is a physical freak. I don't know how he gets to 170. He's real good.
Yeah, there's a reason they put that one in the featured prelim, right? I mean, they're expecting that definitely.
That's gonna be an exciting fight. But if you're talking about I'm very interested in Yasmin, the first fight. I think she's someone the UFC is going to be pushing very heavily. She's very talented. She's come over from Combate, Mexican. She fought on the main card of the San Diego card I was at. People were, why is she on the main card in her debut? I'm like, well, because she's really good, and the UFC sees a future star in her. Plus, she was only like a couple miles away from her home city of Tijuana and San Diego. Then obviously Tracy Amanda's very excited. I've known Tracy for a long time.
Yeah, she's been impressive. She has a win, depending who you ask, if a lot of people saw this fight, a somewhat disputed win over the latest Golden Girl, Erin Blanchfield. This was in back in Invicta. I'm sure I've talked a lot about.
That was the same weekend as UFC on ESPN 1 in Ngannou and Kane, because Esther, Casey, and I were editing footage or working on something in there, like because they got a hotel room, like this big dining room table, so we were all working and we had it picked on the screen, and we were all like, when they read the scores and they scored it for Tracy, I was like, I don't know about that
one. Ooh, yeah. I get a lot of people asking for a robbery review on that. I guess I might have to. So I personally have. I think I've seen the fight. I don't recall watching it with like a critical eye. I don't recall watching it like with a score. I was just like, oh, cool. I want to see like these two up and comers and see what people are talking about. But I don't remember watching it or scoring it. So I would have to do a proper robbery review. We'll see. But both are seem like they're headed to big things. Amanda Ribas, a tough test. How do you feel about the two division thing?
Hey, whatever she wants to do. She's like, she's very clearly going to be physically stronger than a lot of women at strawweight. But the path to the title is probably quicker at flyweight because they need new blood up there. She just fought Kalen Chookagian, and Kalen Chookagian got a fight of the night bonus. So if anyone can pull a fight of the night bonus, Kalen Chookagian is obviously an exciting fighter. She's also a very bubbly personality. I like interviewing her a lot. I like her story, so whatever she wants to do. Because she also says she just wants to fight a lot. She wants to be active. So I personally, as a fan, I enjoy that.
Yeah, I mean, you're a baseball guy. You know the best ability is availability, right? And she has pretty much told the UFC, I am available for two divisions. If there's a big name, if there's a name fight, and you need someone to take it, I am willing to jump in. She does not seem to care about protecting her record. She's fought Marina Rodriguez. Caitlin Chookagian is just someone who rarely has fights where you look good in it. And as you just said, Jose, I mean, beating Caitlin Chookagian is rare, but even losing to her and getting a fight of the night out of her is much more rare. So
Yes.
it's almost like it doesn't matter that she didn't win. It's just like it's very much an achievement on its own. But yes, she is again competing at 125. So back-to-back fights at 125 for Amanda Ribas. And yeah, if she beats Tracy Cortez, she could take a lot of that hype that Tracy has. So yeah, very exciting fight to watch. I like how they structured the card too. Like I said, you talked about
It's a good
Jasmine
card.
Jauregui.
It's a good card build.
Yeah, it's the way it's good in who's on it, the way it's structured. You've got the fresh names at the bottom, and then you've got 3 straight fights with, again, lifers: Darren Elkins, Michael Johnson, Clay Guida. Boom, four straight. Angela Hill. 4 of the most, again, if I combine those 4 names, that's like probably almost 150 UFC fights or something like that. That's pretty wild. And then yeah, as you said, your featured banger, Niko Price and Philip Rowe. Eryk Anders, Kyle Daukaus, a bit of a strange choice to open the main card. Not my favorite. I would have liked to have opened, I think, with Angela and Emily. But Anders has always seemed to find his way onto like decent spots on UFC cards. And I like it. He's good with the media. He's a nice guy. But he really
Anders?
Yeah, Eryk Anders. He's got that
like
cool
that guy.
yeah, the cool
Arizona
sporting
now.
background. For sure. I think he's very genuine. Like, I think a lot of us have interviewed him. He's a really nice guy.
Well, I think you can tell when athletes come from other sports, but not just other sports, but being in the spotlight, or like
Yep.
being like when we talk about like Bo Nickel, like he came
Yep.
from
Yep.
just national attention, or like, and feel however you want to say about it, but like Greg Hardy's press conferences, you could tell that he had some sort of training in the past when he played
Mhm.
in the National Football League. Same as obviously Eryk Anders went to school at the University of Alabama, was a national champion in one of the greatest collegiate programs in American sports under Nick Saban, who you could argue is one of, if not the greatest college coach of all time. So you can very clearly tell he has had training in front of the media.
Yeah, and the UFC loves that. I mean, the UFC wants this generation of the UFC wants professionals, and again, wants people that, like you say, kind of have that sporting background. Which I know you guys in the US are crazy about your college football. So anytime they can run that in a promo, I mean, open the show saying, oh, it's former. I don't know if there's been an Eryk Anders fight where they haven't mentioned, former Alabama Crimson Tide national champion, and it's great. I'm not criticizing. I'm saying this is what you do when you get someone with that background. You push it and you push it and you push it and you push it. Yeah.
Two-time UFC headliner.
There you go. He's fought Lyoto Machida for Pete's sake
in Brazil, and fought him and it was a good fight. Fought him to a split decision.
Yeah.
And then he got thrown in against, because when he fought Thiago Santos in the main event of Brazil, that was, I believe it was originally going to be Glover and Jimmy Manuwa.
Yeah.
And then Glover got hurt, so then Thiago Santos went up from middleweight to play the light heavyweight just on short notice, and then eventually Manuwa pulled out like the week before. So then Eryk Anders went up from middleweight to fight too. So they had 2 middleweights fighting at light heavyweight in like an impromptu main event.
And I remember
you could tell he was gassed because I believe it was a ref stoppage.
Yeah, and I was like, 205 is not that he can't compete at it, but I mean, just jumping into a 205 fight randomly probably was not good for his health. And I was like, This is not where Eryk Anders wants to be right now. It's not a good idea. But yeah, he's a company guy, so they do like him, and he gets to open the main card. Six fight main card. I will warn people. I guess you West Coasters. I'm not talking to you, Jose. You West Coasters out there in the world, I guess. Won't really be bothered by this, but this is going to be a 7 p.m. prelim start time on ESPN and ESPN Plus. My Canadians, I believe that will be on Fight Pass, the prelims, at least a chunk of them, and then it'll move to one of the TSNs. 9 fights. 9 fights in 3 hours. And I'm sensing like some real decision potential here. I think Angela Hill, Emily Ducote could go to decision. I think Clay Guida, Scott Holtzman could go to decision. Michael Johnson, Marc Diakiese could definitely go to decision. Darren Elkins, Jonathan Pearce, probably at least going to go into the 3rd round. Cortez Ribas could go to a decision. I don't know how they're going to do this. I don't know how they're going to. I guess it doesn't matter. The prelims are on ESPN, ESPN Plus. The main card's also on ESPN, ESPN Plus. So again, I don't know how this works for you guys, if they just kind of let one flow into the other. But I know they like to have some sort of like break, so they can say, oh, introduce the main card and things. But yeah, 9 fights in 3 hours. And then main card starts 10 p.m. Eastern time.
Lord.
6-fight main card. 6-fight main card. So enjoy, everyone watching. You're gonna need a little bit of coffee, I think. It's a late show. It's a late show, and there's a lot of fights. This is 30 fights total. Good for the fighters. Like I said, only the Jack Hermansson fight got changed, and he got a new opponent in Roman Dolidze. Derek Brunson had to step out with an injury. So it did not actually lose. The card was scheduled for 15 fights, and we'll have 15 fights. So for all you UFC maniacs there who are like, yes, the longer cards, the better. I hate when people complain about too many fights. This is your card. This is your card. You are getting all of the fights, and a lot of good matchups. So, yeah, good for all the fighters. Good for all that stayed on. All right, Jose, any angle, any on-site angles that you've been dying to throw out there?
Not really. Can't say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is a pretty straightforward card. Just good fight.
Where were you? Well, here's a question. Where were you in when the last time they went to Orlando?
Was that Glover versus Rashad Evans?
No, this would have been Emmett and Stevens.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
I always get that. Who did Stevens fight or Emmett fight in St. Louis?
Oh, I gotta find this myself. Where was this? Amway Center. Okay, so same venue. Yeah, UFC on Fox 28. They were still on Fox when this happened.
That's when that was the elbow that then Josh Emmett missed a lot of time recovering.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy. Josh Emmett is now about to fight for an interim title, and Jeremy Stevens is struggling a little bit in the PFL. But
saying very strange things about serial killers in the
PFL. that was I don't know if I love that kind of sell. Jeremy Stevens defeated Josh Emmett in the main event. Jessica Andrade won a decision over Tisha Torres in the co-main. Alir Latifi, I do not remember this at all. Standing guillotine choke of OSP.
That's in the Orlando card.
It's the Orlando card, yeah. This is February 2018.
Is that when Max Griffin just pieced up Mike Perry too?
Correct. Yeah, to open the main card.
Was that Henan Barrow's last fight or second last fight?
I want to say last. Let me check here.
I know he lost him. I know he lost on that card. Jeez.
He had he somehow had 3 more fights after.
Man. So then I'm trying to think who else on that card. Alan Joban melted Ben Saunders.
Yep. Yes, he did. Alan Joban now
Sam Alvey. Sam Alvey won. Am I making that up?
Yes, Sam Alvey was still winning. Sam Alvey was still winning fights back then, and would actually win. This actually kicked off a 2-fight win streak. He would then win another fight after.
Look at that. So those are the ones I really remember. Oh no, you know what I remember? Marion Renault tapped Sarah McMahon on that card because I remember thinking Sarah McMahon was good. I always thought Marion Renault was fighting in the weight class she was too small for. She should have bent down a weight. And then I thought Sarah McMahon was going to dominate. And Marion Renault just came out of nowhere. Man, look at you.
That was shocking. Yeah. So yeah, Marion Renault retired now. Alan Joban now retired. Sam Alvey not retired, but not winning fights anymore.
Henan Barrow, has he fought since leaving the UFC?
After that he fought Andre Ewell, Luke Sanders, and Douglas Silva de Andrade. Yeah, he fought a few more. He got to fight in Brazil a couple more times, but has not fought since parting ways. November 2019 has not fought since. So.
I think he was supposed to fight a few times, but then weird things happened.
And it looks like Alex Perez, his second UFC fight. So Alex Perez, current UFC flyweight contender. It's a catchweight belt. Why is it a catchweight belt? I'm gonna catch it. Oh, Alex Perez missed. Yeah, Perez missed weight. So yeah, pretty eventful. Again, it is kind of trippy to see Jeremy Stevens was knocking out Josh Emmett back then, and Mac Perry was not bare knuckle boxing. He was actually in the UFC on a main card. It is crazy, but yeah, over 4 years ago, the last time the UFC has been to Amway Center in glorious Orlando, Florida.
That was and before that was a Glover versus Rashad Evans.
Oh, I have to check. Let's see, where am I here? That sounds right. No.
Was that Tampa?
Oh, it might have been Tampa. Let me just check over that.
I know it was in Florida. It was either, but I can't remember them going to Miami.
It was not Orlando.
So then it was before that. It was probably Verdun versus Brown. one. I remember that fight.
There's one in between there, main evented by one of the gentlemen fighting on tonight's main card. Oh, sorry, Saturday's main card. Excuse me.
Let me think about this.
This is the only one you're missing.
I'm looking at the card. I'm looking at this card right now. So Stephen Thompson, and it was headlined by someone on the main card.
Headlined by someone on the main card, correct. You see, I think the comments. I see the comments are probably shouting it out. Let me see. I won't say it.
I can't see the comments right now.
I know. Yeah. I know you'll get it.
Oh, duh. It was the infamous Nate Diaz screaming after he called out Conor McGregor.
No.
So RDA headlines.
Oh, sorry. Yes, sorry. Yeah, it is that card. Yes.
So RDA headline.
It is that card.
RDA.
Yes.
So Michael Johnson was also fought because he lost to Nate Diaz on that card, and then he goes, Conor McGregor taking everything I work for. Overeem knocked out JDS on that card.
Wow, that's a loaded card. Look at that. RDA, Cerrone, Overeem, JDS, Diaz. Wow. Charles Oliveira on the prelims, choking out Miles Jury. And missing weight by a
lot.
Yeah.
Valentina versus Sarah Kaufman.
Shevchenko. Wow, this is a Kamaru Usman on the Fight Pass prelims. And Leon Edwards, the first Usman Leon Edwards fight.
I'm pretty sure that was Valentina's UFC debut.
It was. Was she on short notice? No. Oh yes, she was.
Vicente Luque. Francis Ngannou fought on the first fight of the card.
That's trippy.
Vicente Luque fought Hayder Hassan. And who was it? The Barn Cat, Tamden McCory fought on that card.
Shout outs by the people in the comments. Domino Effect 4 did call it out. RDA and Cowboy was in Orlando. Well done. So hold Francis Ngannou, current heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou open.
Yeah.
Fight Pass prelims. Kamaru Usman, Leon Edwards won. Again, a Fight Pass pre. You know, people didn't even see these fights. These are Fight Pass.
Vicente Luque fought Hayder Hassan on that card.
That was part of like the rivalry. That was the remnants of the Ultimate Fighter Jim versus. I wish they would do that idea again. That was actually a really fun idea. That was again, you'd have to find two camps.
Yeah, the problem is that everyone that people like it's not even a problem, but like I remember that season, everyone picked to win the whole thing. Like no one picked Kamaru Usman to win the Ultimate Fighter.
I remember because Jason Jackson, I think, was on there. He was like one of the favorites. I think.
Was he really on that fight card?
I want to say
because everyone, I assume, thought Steve. Oh yeah, he was. He's on the Blackzilians. Everyone thought like Steve Carl was the big name because he was like the World Series of Fighting champion.
Oh yeah.
That's right. I know he lost to Husamar Palhares and then he went to the Ultimate Fighter stuff, but then like he lost to Bilal Muhammad in Titan, and then I believe he went into the Ultimate Fighter, and then when he lost, he just never fought again. Sabah Hamasi was on that card too.
I'm looking here. Wow, I'm just looking at this last. This is wild. This card is wild. This last Orlando. So guys, listen. You know, we in the MMA media, we're always people know we're a bunch of haters. You know, we don't. Well, all we do is talk about criticize this and criticize Dana White and criticize the UFC and criticize their cards. And look, imagine if we were back in 2015 going like, who's this Francis Ngannou guy? The UFC's becoming diluted. What kind of Francis Ngannou? Who's this guy? Valentina Shevchenko. Actually, that's not true. Valentina Shevchenko came in, and like a lot of people were talking about her because she was supposed to be on the Ultimate Fighter, and feel like, oh yeah, this woman's gonna win the show. She gets on. She didn't do it. And when she beat Sarah Kaufman, it wasn't like super shocking. They feel like, yeah, like if you've heard of this, if you know about Shevchenko, like it was a really close fight, but it wasn't a shocker. But yeah, or you guys could jump on the MMA media, critic bandwagon and kind of agree with us that maybe the talent that is on these prelims isn't quite as stacked as it once was. With respect, I mean, that
was also a big Fox card.
Mm-hmm.
Like that wasn't Fox
title fight,
like FS1 or nothing. Yeah, title fight. That was also like RDA when he beat Cowboy to win the title. Not Cowboy. When he beat Pettis to win the title, like I believe it was 185 in Dallas. That was in March, but then he got hurt. So then Donald Cerrone just kept fighting and kept winning. So by the time RDA was healthy, Donald Cerrone was like the most logical next man up. Because he head kicks Modesti in that time off.
RDA never got to defend his title on pay-per-view. He won it at 185, and then both his fights were on free TV, cable, as it were.
One of them, no, the Eddie Alvarez fight was on Fight Pass, was it not?
Was it? No. Really?
I thought so. Maybe
I
I'm
don't
wrong.
remember. I do not remember, honestly. I just know it was on
Yeah,
pay-per-view.
it was on UFC Fight
Oh,
Pass.
it was. It was. What the hell? What the?
Rafael dos Anjos versus Eddie Alvarez. We were talking about how RDA never got to defend his title on a pay-per-view. ESPN and Fight Pass.
No, Fox. Fox.
Get on it.
Fox.
Get on it. Get on. Well, we're killing time. We're bringing up fun facts. We were trying to remember when's the last time you guys came to Orlando, and we were trying to.
Oh, because someone posted the Fight Night card from like 2015.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. The main Francis kicked off the main card.
Sure did.
I mean the prelims. He was on
Edwards was on
the prelims, and Vicente Luque was on the prelims. Valentina's debut.
People go back and they look at those cards and they're like, I can't believe.
That's literally.
Leon was on the prelims. I'm like, did you give it?
That was their first fight. We're talking here on site.
Trash these Apex cards. And one day I'll be like, oh, I was at that one. I didn't even watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at all the world champions on the undercard. I can't believe we didn't appreciate it.
Yeah. Can you remember the last time we were here though?
No.
It was Josh Emmett versus Jeremy Stevens. Banger.
Banger.
And before that, it was the RDA Cowboy. And I think before that, it was.
That's back when Fox fights were like a big
Yeah,
deal.
and before that, it was Verdum and Brown. Yep. Yep. Because we were talking about RDA having to defend his title on Fox, the lightweight champion of the world. Yep.
Title fights used to be a thing for Fox cards.
Yeah.
Then you get the people like, well, you didn't promote this guy. You should have put him on free TV. Why'd you put this guy on free TV? You don't believe you can sell pay-per-views?
It's like DJ always wanted to fight on Fox because his sponsors were like, more eyeballs for us? Great.
Yes. And we facilitated that when people were like, you didn't promote him correctly.
I remember when you guys put Uriah Faber on like the featured prelim card of I think it was 175 maybe. Okay. Like it was Weidman Machida and everyone spazzed. Everyone freaked out and he was like, I mean, it's good for my sponsors. I get more money. I think he fought Alex Caceres on that fight.
Sounds like a great fight.
I had a good time.
Jose, who is this from the UFC you're speaking to?
I'm speaking to Christoph with the UFC. He was just reminiscing of all the Orlando fights and how we used to put the titles on Big Fox.
Yeah, and again, this is sort of like what I was kind of mentioning earlier. Like, look, and I'm not breaking any news here. Yeah, listen, cards have become a bit diluted, and listen, maybe Jasmine Hadagi is a title contender in 2020. You know, at the end of 2023. I don't know. It's possible. Francis Marshall. I don't know. There's potential here, but I do think fighters like I think even like Kamaru and Leon had a little bit more of a track record than some of these guys before making their UFC debut. But again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're seeing a future UFC title contender or champion if you tune in from the very start of this 15 fight card. It's a nice looking card. It's a nice looking card. Again, will it be like that UFC on Fox 17 card? And I don't know. It's a lot to ask for, but you never know in this wet and wild sport of ours. All right, guys. We have 20 minutes left. I wanted to open it up for questions, but it's really not a lot of time. And we'll have a preview show later today, guys. So of course, you can join us there and leave some of the questions there. But maybe if I get you guys to ask questions, we can shake the tree a little here and maybe get Phil Rowe to come out or Matt Schnell. So let me close this poll here. 57% picking a Kevin Holland win in the main event. Let's close that. Let's get rid of this pinned comment, guys. The pinned comment was just that Stephen Thompson, Kevin Holland have made weight. We have a graphic on screen. You can see everyone who's made weight. Matt Schnell missed. We'll probably make a second attempt. Phil Rowe, we are waiting on him. But let me just tell you guys to send in your questions now.
Here's the thing that's always like, because who's just complaining? Like, if you want to fight, it is. If you want to fight, it's very easy to get to fight.
All right, Jose, are you ready? We could be getting some comments coming in here.
Hit me.
The first question: from at JPZY. When is Jack Hermansson weighing in? That's a very good question. That's a very good question. Soon, hopefully. Jack, as in my notes, does not have any sort of history of missing weight. I do wonder if he has a history of coming in later because he doesn't have a history of missing weight. Like it's just not an issue for him. But I've said that about people before, and then they have ended up having problems. But okay, these are kind of random. From Asterix the Gaul, Cub Swanson versus Uriah Faber. Thoughts on that potential old school fight? Does Cub Swanson not have a fight coming up?
Say it again.
Oh no, he fought. Oh gosh, that's right,
yeah.
he fought. By Jonathan Martinez. Cub Swanson Faber, Jose?
Cub Swanson what? Say it again.
Cub Swanson Faber.
Favor? What about it?
Faber? You want to see him fight Uriah Faber?
Oh, I thought you said favor, like do him a favor.
No.
Yeah, I would definitely do. Yeah, I would love that fight.
Right? It's the way to go, right? Yeah. Sacramento.
Or Dominic Cruz, honestly.
Yeah.
Cowboys.
Have they given... My memory is so bad. There's so many... I feel like there's so many cool fights they could have made for Dominic Cruz. Of course, Jose Aldo being one of them. But they didn't... Like, instead, I don't know. Like, Casey Kenny was a weird choice. It wasn't a bad fight. It was just kind of an odd choice. Pedro Munoz kind of made sense. That was fine. I guess Chito Vera made sense. I don't know, but I would love. They just he doesn't. I guess he doesn't want to take Legends fights. He's like Wonder Boy maybe. Like I want to stay in the contender circle. I'm not trying to do novelty things. That's fine.
I will be right back. I'm gonna go grab some coffee.
Okay, is someone coming? Okay, I will answer these people. I will answer these questions. Jose will be back. The man's been working hard. Jay Gibru wants to know, why would the UFC put RDA, Barberena, and Pavlovich on this card when they're perfect fights for the Brazil and Perth card? I'm not going to blame the UFC on this one. Sometimes people just want to fight. Sometimes people are ready. They're ready to fight. They've done they're in whatever shape they're in. They want to get it in maybe before the holidays. They want to get it. There's financial reasons. They want to get paid sooner rather than later. Because Perth is in February, right? And I guess Brazil is January. Brazil is January, guys. So, I mean, obviously not like super far in the future, but when you're ready to fight, you're ready to fight. So the UFC can only do so much.
Looks like Phil Rowe is in.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I just explained. Someone was asking why would you put like RDA fight on here when he could fight in Brazil, or Ty when he could fight in Perth, and it's like fighters.
So pause that because I'll tell you why Ty is.
There's a more deep reason. Okay, yeah. I was just saying when fighters are ready to fight, they fight. That's my answer.
I'll tell you why in a second after Phil Rowe wins, or if he's not here, I'll just tell you right now. So at media day, obviously they asked Ty like, "Hey, do you want to fight on Perth and stuff?" And he said no, because that means he hasn't spent Christmas with his family in a long time. So he wanted to spend Christmas, because if he was fighting in February, he had to be in camp. And in his words, he wants to get very drunk in Perth when his friends fight.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is I think a lot of people would want to get it in before the holidays. I imagine that's why several of those fighters probably were. Yeah,
heavyweights, I need to cut weight.
Yeah, I mean, because Ty, listen, guys, Ty came in at if you don't see the graphic, just came in at 266. So it would not have been a fun holiday for him to try and like hover around that weight, I guess, but. Hicks is asking, how long do you guys think this no betting on MMA and Ontario thing will last? I don't know. Like I said,
Here we go.
Here we go. Oh, hold on.
Matt Schnell's back. He looks like Matt Schnell.
Oh, okay. Matt Schnell second. We have bald Matt Schnell. There he is.
Matt Schnell weighing in here for the second time.
$126 for bald Matt Schnell. Sacrificing the hair, but he has made it. And his fight with Matheus Nicolau is now official. I'm no fashionista, but can I tell you something? I think Matt looks pretty good with a shaved head.
That's what I don't know if you could hear him, but Say Sayud was over the corner, walks and he goes, "I like my head
All right,
shaved."
our final athlete to weigh in
He
this morning
he looks
is
all right.
second to last, competing in a featured prelim in the welterweight division, the Fresh Prince, Phil Rowe.
That's a good look for Matt Schnell. Sorry guys, I'm just seeing sort of the delayed feed on our YouTube channel. Here's Phil Rowe.
A little taller.
$173.5, the official weight for Phil Rowe, 2.5 pounds.
173.5 for Phil Rowe, as John Anik just pointed out. That's a 2.5 pound miss. I mean, he technically did have to 11, but it's about 10 minutes away, so that could be it for Mr. Rowe on the scale. And his bout with Niko Price is not official. But again, if he does win, I have a feeling it would be. I don't think it'll be here. I don't know if he gets another hour or what have you. Either way, Jose, what is our story with Wei? I guess they'll be facing them off soon.
Well, no, they'll be facing. There is ceremonial weigh-ins.
There is ceremonial weigh-ins.
Yeah.
Wow, I blatantly lied to the YouTube comments.
So we will have. So they'll be at the end. We won't be streaming them, but we will have footage for you on our YouTube page and socials.
Okay. And guys, again, we'll have the. If you're looking for it, we'll also have the ceremonial, the UFC ceremonial stream, available on MMAfighting.com and our weigh-ins posts. So you do not need to look far. Go to MMAfighting.com for all your MMA needs. Jose, we'll just wait a second again for the official word on Phil Rowe, if we can get it, that he's presumably not making a second attempt. I don't see how he reasonably could, because Matt Schnell just got to weigh in again within the window, right? As far as you know, it's not like
as far as
Rowe's going to get. We don't know if there's an extra hour. Okay, we'll see. I'll see what people are saying. So guys, just hang with us. YouTube fans, hang with us for another 10 minutes or so. How about that? People are asking when Jose, did you say when the ceremonials will be?
I will find out in 2 seconds. Working on getting up Matt Schnell stuff.
Let's see. I can just find it here. No, I cannot find it here. Okay, great. Okay. We'll let you guys know shortly when we can expect ceremonial weigh-ins to take place. But yes, there will be ceremonials. I'm sorry, I said earlier, if anyone saw my comments earlier, that it's mostly a pay-per-view only thing. I mean, this is a pay-per-view level card, so I'm glad. And they are out of the Apex, so.
Known liar, AK.
No lie. So I am glad they are giving this ceremonial shine. It certainly deserves it. The fighters deserve it. But yes, I'll give you guys the rundown now. Let me just gather my thoughts. Wait a minute. We're still waiting for Jack Hermansson, right?
I believe so.
Okay. Sorry, everyone.
Known liar.
I'm just messing with you. Look at the comments new. All the comments were like, what are you talking about, AK, you idiot? Jack Hermansson still has to weigh in. Guys, I'm testing you. Obviously, I'm testing you. You all passed. You guys are geniuses. Yes, we are still waiting for Jack Hermansson, who is fighting Roman Dolidze. Roman Dolidze came in on short notice and showed up within the first rush of weigh-in participants. But we are still waiting for Jack Hermansson. Nick Bernard saying ceremonial weigh-ins are at 4 p.m. ET. That sounds about right. So Nick Bernard, thank you for that info. Again, if it's I'll correct it if I see it somewhere else. But Thank you for the comments on 4 p.m. ET. Yeah, we are now. I would start getting concerned, people, for Jack Hermansson. Again, maybe it's a breezy cut. He's just messing with us. But it is also possible that he is having trouble. Because we are under 10 minutes to go here. Sorry, guys, we don't have the fancy EKC line patented weigh-in countdown clock. But I can tell you we are at 10:52 Eastern time in the morning. And we do not have Jack Hermansson yet. Other than that, everyone else besides Matt Schnell, Matt Schnell has made weight. Excuse me, guys. Matt Schnell came in a second time, 126 for him, no issue there. So just Phil Rowe on our list of misses. Again, no official word on Rowe's status or the status of that fight. I assume he will not be weighing in again. Probably won't be allowed to.
I am assuming.
Yes, and if the fight proceeds at a catch weight, we're looking at, I bet Niko would take 30% or should take 30%. It's a pretty considerable miss. Again, it's 2.5 pounds over for Phil Rowe, a very, very, very tall welterweight. We were talking about it at the beginning of the show, like we're not quite sure how he even makes that limit. He's a big guy. He is listed at 6'3". That's taller than most heavyweights. So it's he's been making it here and there, but that is, I think he's starting to demand a lot from his body, and he missed weight for the Ryan Kosi fight as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, this is his second miss, and his second time he's missed by 2.5 pounds. He won that fight. He did defeat Ryan Kosi, so crime paid, as it were, if you want to view it through that lens. What else? Craig says, good googly moogly, that's a big boy. Yes, he is very tall. Cody Fletcher is in Orlando. Is anyone else here in Orlando for the fight? Shout out Cody Fletcher. Nick Bernard noting doors open. Doors open for the ceremonial weigh-ins, guys, 3 p.m. So it should start around 4 p.m. ET. Doors open at 3. So if you're in Orlando, guys, check on in. There will be public ceremonial weigh-ins. Daniel Radivojevic says, if my opponent misses weight, I'm not taking his money. I don't know if a lot of fighters would.
That seems silly.
We do have a fighter.
It's happened before. I remember when Kelvin
Michael Johnson
with Tyron Woodley. Yeah. Well, for that one too, when he fought Artem, he had taken that fight on incredibly short notice, and
yes,
even Artem was like, "That's not even fair."
So it is certainly possible. Niko Price is a pretty chill cat, but if I'm him, I would take that 30%. A man's got to eat. I'm just saying. Sony Alpha Adventure. I'm leaving Orlando at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Why are you leaving when there's a UFC card in town? What are you doing?
He's got to get out of Dodge.
Come on now. Come on now. Guys, get your comments in now. This is the time. Trust me. I'm reading not everything, but the Watts Riot says Phil Rowe not shaving his head. Yeah, that's probably not going to help him. He did have a nice head of hair going though. I don't think 2.5 pounds worth. Rick Bersiak says Niko has 6 kids. He will take the money.
Facts.
Is that true? Is he?
He has hella kids.
Wow, he has a lot of children. Okay, good. Exactly. Listen,
he's like he's like the Phillip Rivers of the UFC,
or the Alex Oliveira of the UFC.
Antonio Cromartie of the UFC. Well,
there you go.
Nice deep cut.
Yeah. Listen, people can say all they want about the honorable thing. You know, it's whatever. It's just the only way. It's like you got other people to answer to.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Whose idea was
this? Show us the cake. Show us the cake, Jose.
I appreciate you guys. I'll go check it out in 2 seconds.
I'll
go check it out in a second. I'll go check it out in a second, guys. Relax.
Tell someone to bring the cake here and put it on camera.
That's too funny.
They are this man goes to so many UFC. He is so well known by the UFC. They are celebrating his birthday. That is a beautiful thing.
That's so funny.
Let me say, oh, here comes the box of. It was the box of shame for Phil Rowe. Oh, he used the box, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Was the
No,
box
I
of
don't think he.
redemption?
No, I don't think he. I don't think he
Oh, he
did.
didn't even bother. Was the box of redemption for Matt Schnell the second time around? We'll see. I assume this is Jack Hermansson, not Phil Rowe, unless Phil Rowe is just trying to get less than, trying to minimize the penalty. But I will say, people know we criticize the UFC all the time. I will never, for the most part, criticize the staff. They've been, for most part, I've interacted with them, very nice people. And they put in, I mean, these are the people on the ground putting on the work, guys. Like, as much as you want to credit the execs, Dana White, for putting these shows together, just remember, it's the fighters, it's the staff that is like putting in the work and making this stuff happen. So that's awesome that they did a little birthday. Apparently done a little birthday thing for Jose. So
All right, our final athlete to
Bill's
weigh in
done,
this
by the
morning,
way.
competing on the main card, is the 8th-ranked UFC middleweight contender Jack Hermansson.
okay, Jose just let us know Rowe is done, and this is Jack Hermansson. Box of redemption for Jack Hermansson, 186. He looked emotional. He did not look like he was super confident that he was going to make it, but his bout with Roman Dolidze is now official. Let's let the Joker get his clothes back on here and strike a pose. He's earned it. Probably not feeling super great right now. There we go.
We will see you over at Amway Center for the ceremonial weigh-in. 4 p.m. local time here today.
All right,
wrap,
there was John Ennis saying we'll see you there. Jose, can I do a little rundown before I got to do some writing as well? Let's do a little rundown. All right, hit you with the rundown. Our main event, welterweights, Stephen Thompson and Kevin Holland both successfully made weight. Stephen Thompson at championship weight, 170. Kevin Holland, 170.5. Welterweights in the co-main event as well as Bryan Barberena, who came in at 170.5, takes on former lightweight champion Rafael dos Anjos, came in at 170. Flyweight contenders bout, Matheus Nicolau and Matt Schnell will go forward as scheduled, both coming at 126. Matt Schnell needing a second attempt, sans hair, but he came in and made the weight, dropped half a pound from the first attempt. Heavyweights also on the main card, Tuivasa 266, Sergei Pavlovich 255. You guys just saw Jack Hermansson using the box of redemption to make 186 for his main card fight with short notice replacement Roman Dolidze. Dolidze coming in for Derek Brunson and coming in at 185.5. Main card opener, also middleweights, Eryk Anders 186, Daukaus 184.5. We got a lot of fights here, people. 9 more fights to go. Niko Price coming in at 170 for his fight with Phil Rowe, who came in at 173.5. We know Phil Rowe is not weighing in again. He missed by 2.5 pounds. The fight is technically not official. Let's hope it stays together. Phil Rowe likely to forfeit a pretty considerable chunk of his purse to Niko Price if it does go through. That was our lone miss. And then we had Angela Hill, Emily Ducote, both coming on 115.5. Battle of former Invicta strawweight champions. Clay Guida coming in at 154.5 for his fight with Scott Holtzman, 155.5. Michael Johnson, 156 for his fight with Marc, 155.5. Darren Elkins, 145 for his fight with Jonathan Pearce, 146. Tracy Cortez, Amanda Ribas meeting in a flyweight bout. They both came in 125 on the dot. Natan, Levy, and Genaro Valdez meeting at lightweight, both coming in at 156, using that extra pound for a non-title fight. Marcelo Rojo and Francis Marshall both coming in at 145 for their featherweight bout. And then we open with a strawweight bout between Jasmine Jauregui and Estela Nunes. Jauregui coming in 115.5, Nunes at 114.5. And that is your UFC Orlando weigh-ins. Thank you, Jose.
Everyone wants
by the way.
Then by all means.
Okay, you don't want to just
Happy
for
birthday,
yourself.
Jose. Jose, show us a little cake. Put a little cake on the camera.
It is your cake.
Guys, I'm not leaving till Jose puts some cake on camera. I'll message him in Slack right now.
Jesus Christ, man. All right, guys, we got to sign off, AK.
Hold on. Show us the cake. Show us the cake. Show us the cake on camera.
It's a little big and it's way in the back.
No.
I'll
Don't
send
you have
it.
a slice? Don't you have a slice?
No.
All
I'll send
right.
it. I'll post it on Twitter, and then people can go.
Sure. Look for Jose, guys. Nice. Jose's social media. Look for Jose's social media and wish Jose a happy birthday at Jose Youngs on Twitter.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Check in later for the preview show. We'll have a preview show at after the ceremonial weigh-ins. We'll have a preview show.
And go watch and go tune in the Heck of a Morning in 30 minutes. Peace.
Heck of a morning. See you guys.